right, this is a continuation of the 12-man league where we do PPR along with heavy yardage and heavy points for TDs league that we had to cut short because we went 3 hours. We're going to continue from the second pick of the 5th round right here. Fired up for you guys to listen to the rest of our mock draft. Let's do this. It starts now. Pyro Podcast, episode 21 of the 2013 offseason. This is show 83, Mock Draft Mania. This is part 2.2. The rest of the draft. Let's do this. Pretty sweet.
All right, well, let me go back to the mini warriors. And we're going to add the mightiest mini warrior, Steve Smith.
Now he's playing.
This is great. Deshaun Jackson, Steve Smith, Percy Harvin. We don't have a wide receiver over 5'10".
I know who the quarterback's going to be.
Cam Newton.
No.
Stevie Fist. I like it.
Doug Flutie.
Mm-hmm.
Got to be a short guy.
That's
going to have to be a short guy.
I know who it's going to be.
Starts with an R, ends with a W.
And I think the dog's going to come in and do a sneak attack on you on it too. Because he doesn't happy.
Dog can do it. He can do it right now if he wants.
Last week when you took him from dog was a little
angry.
All right, so I'm up here, right?
Yeah.
I'm going with my team. That's a Trent Richardson, Lamar Miller, Andre Johnson, Marquise Colston.
I know who you're picking here.
I'm going with the Drew Brees.
I knew it. I was surprised.
I'm
surprised I took Peyton
when you were
over
talking about Peyton coming back, I was like, okay, Drew Brees, and you're like, oh, Marquise Colston.
I could not believe that Drew Brees fell this far, which is fine. I understand in a PPR league, you're looking at other positions, but if you got a chance to get Drew Brees with your 5th guy on the team, give me a freaking break. I'll take
ridiculous.
it. I don't care if I just partnered. Well, I just partnered him with Marquise Colston. When they go off, I win every week.
If you want to celebrate, you can just extend your hand over here to D-Rex, and you can say thank you because he took Colin Kaepernick instead of Drew Brees for you.
But you took Peyton Manning.
Fine.
Correct. No. But
both those picks, Drew Brees should go ahead of Peyton Manning and Colin Kaepernick.
It was a surprise, why he was surprised.
That's iffy.
He was
iffy.
I
had Drew Brees as my number 1 guy. I took him number 3 in the last draft.
Well, yeah,
overall,
and that's one thing to know.
Yes.
We're also drafting right now, knowing from last week that we can all sit back on quarterbacks. Drew Brees is not going to be available in the 5th round.
No, he will
draft.
not.
So let's just make sure our listeners know that Drew Brees is a 2nd or 3rd round quarterback.
But I am sickly disgusted with my team because of it.
But it is interesting because as you look at it, and as I look at my tiers, I feel there's a solid 12 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So unless you're getting one of the upper echelon 3, which in mine were Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and Peyton Manning, if you're not getting one of those, you might as well wait.
Yeah, or unless you're D-Rex and
you want Colin Kaepernick.
And you're Kaepernick, which is fine as well.
I'm fired up with Kaepernick.
And
I took Kaepernick in the 2nd round that I was saying. And there I was
the
and this is going to be there's going to be a strong...
now you see why I picked him 5th, not 4th.
There's going to be a strong percentage of our listeners also who are going to be well behind you on this Kaepernick thing.
Yeah.
And if it works, kudos. That's why we're here.
You want it? Thanks, man. Thanks for being there for me, man.
You're welcome, man. I always got you.
So this team bankrupt. I'm about to add what could be Bernie Madoff break bankruptness.
Okay,
but I'm fired up. Run DNP in the mix. Holla, holla,
you can't draft him.
I'm taking him.
You can't.
I wanted him.
It's your
so
third
bad.
running back.
Yeah, you can't take him as your third running back.
Bullshit.
Bullshit indeed.
I told you, man, we should have gone 8 rounds. So you could have done it.
We're going 8 rounds.
No, we're not.
We're going 8. Let's get one other pick that can be the difference maker. Why not? This thing's so long anyway.
It's a bummer.
This might be our first.
Keep this on the podcast.
This might be our third.
All right, fine. We'll go one bench spot.
I literally hadn't taken. I didn't take him in that last round because I knew he would come back to me because I knew you guys had those running backs already.
See, now that's
fair.
But that's okay.
No, fair enough.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll do the 8 rounds. I got fun. Everybody gets fucked every once in a while.
I feel like I'm at the round walking on like the wood chips going to get.
It's been added to the master Excel spreadsheet.
Yes, run DMC.
It's now on. We are 8 rounds for this one.
All right, we turned it into a flex league.
You know what? And I'll tell you what, we'll do. No. the flex league would still be the same number of starting positions. But what we will do is next week for the flex league, we will also do 8 rounds, which will give the balance.
You're the best commissioner ever.
I work with what we got.
You work with the league?
I work with what we got.
All right, let's go. I love it. You're up, man.
Which ain't much.
So you're taking Run DMC.
Yeah, this is Team Donkey Balls. What are they doing?
No, well, now I got to rethink everything, sir. So
no, that's not you.
This is Houdini. Oh, that's right. That's his. That's his.
I'm sorry. I'm entering did not play this week into your team right now. Sorry about that.
I did put him as Run DMC.
Well, now I'm going to grab my wide receiver, and I'm going to take Mike Wallace. Big touchdown league. I want the guy who's going to be targeted and is going to get at least 4 touchdowns over 50 yards.
It's a good pick.
That's a good one. I agree with that. Absolutely. He's going to do just fine there in Miami. If they're having trouble, actually, at first, I'm not worried.
Get it?
He'll be fine.
I think it's also funny because we each have affinity to certain players,
but I'm going
and the rest of us don't necessarily agree with our affinities, which I think is great.
That's why people like listening to us.
Hey, that's why
if we were all sitting here toting the corporate line.
That's why we're drafting the players we want.
But I got to be honest. I've been warming up to Wallace, and I know that you love the guy.
But look at this team, though. I mean, I got Jamal Charles, Chris Johnson, Demaryius Thomas, Peyton Manning, Mike Wallace. They're all big strike potential guys.
Yep.
That's what you want in this type of a league.
I mean, when I think of donkey balls, I think about big strikes.
I don't think about donkey balls.
I didn't know I was
strange. I don't know why.
You're the one who came up with the name.
I did, but that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Well, you just said I don't think about it. You thought about it.
Once.
And these donkey balls are coming back.
That you think about them all the time. When I think about donkey balls,
I never even heard those 2 words put next to each other until you came up with it 5 minutes ago.
I'm sure you've heard of donkey punch.
But the I have. I've lived with it my whole life. But his donkey balls team is going to win the championship, and we're going to fucking have to remember this name for the rest of our lives.
Donkey Balls. That's going to be my Pyro team name this year. Donkey Balls.
It should be.
I will name my team Donkey Balls.
What was it last year? Houdini's Escape.
Yeah, weak. Donkey Balls is in the house. Donkey Balls is going to kick your butt.
I love it.
All right, so
with the extra emphasis on Donkey Balls.
I just want to let it be known that during drafts we drink and we talk about this in our manifestos and our draft strategy.
I drink water.
Hey, you want to have fun,
right?
You're drinking. So during our mocks, we're drinking.
Yeah,
we had to pause this thing for a minute because there was a little meltdown over at our restaurant, Dewey's, but. We're a little buzzed now as you get in later rounds.
This is what happens.
This is what happens. So you work the best with it and you work through it. Let's do this.
All right.
Donkey balls.
Donkey balls.
All right. I got Arian Foster, Steven Jackson, Victor Cruz, and Reggie Wayne. That's a PPR giant. I'm very happy with it. I'm going to go with one more with some explosive ability. I am happy about this pick. Give me a Vernon Davis.
I knew you were taking that.
Give me that Vernon Davis. It is possible this guy can explode. He has been a top 3 tight end a couple of years. Granted, it was a couple of years ago.
He was number 1 year.
Yes, absolutely. But I think this year is going to be very interesting.
This is a nice looking team.
Yeah,
What's the name of this team?
Donkey Cojones.
No, we already got one of the
okay. Ron Jeremy strikes again.
Ron Jeremy strikes again.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. Doug Maddox.
I don't know. What do you want from me, man? God damn it.
It's a good team. I want you to start picking bad teams. That's what I want. The Thrillas with C.J. Spiller, Larry Fitz, Pierre Garçon, and Roddy White. I have no idea who I'm going to take here. But it probably would have been that pick you took previously had you not taken him. I need a running back, so I'm going to do it. And I'm going to go Ridley. Stevan Ridley.
Nice. I like that. The guy is not a PPR guy, but he's going to get enough touchdowns in that offense this year to make up for it. I really believe that.
I hope so.
Yep.
All right.
I hope so for your sake, too.
And that's kind of where we're at in this draft right now. So I'm going to go. This is, by the way, this is team non-PPR. This is Marshawn Lynch, Alfred Morris, Jordy Nelson, Vincent Jackson. And it's going to continue to stay team non-PPR because this is a big touchdown league. And I believe with the departure of one Anquan Bolden, that one Torrey Smith is going to finally achieve the lofty goals that I had for him last year and continue to give me the big, long touchdowns. Torrey Smith.
Like it. That's fine. I think that Torrey Smith is actually going to get a lot more catches this year. He's been very steady, I think the exact same amount of catches in his first 2 years.
Like around 50 or so.
Yeah, but he's going to get more
70,
this year.
Though, right? But even with 70, it doesn't become a PPR anything.
But
it doesn't stay as a negative.
Long yardage guy.
That's exactly the thing. And again, for me, though, third wide receiver, I want a guy who can strike to win. Not just give me the plod yourself and give me the consistent points. I want the guy that's big strikeability. I got the guys
in a body bag, Johnny.
I got Alfred Morris and Marshawn Lynch. I got my plotters at running back. I want the big strike guys at wide receiver.
Alfred Morris is a negative when it comes to PPR. Torrey Smith would have been a negative last year and the year before. I don't think he's going to be a negative this year. I think he's just going to be normal.
But long
which
touchdown,
is good. Which is
long touchdown.
But that makes up for it.
Well, it makes up for PPR and then some.
Exactly.
If he has 5 touchdowns over 40 yards,
so does Jordy Nelson.
All that means is
Vincent Jackson.
Just that alone trumps whatever he could have done with 100 catches.
Well, let's put it this way: Torrey Smith catches 49 balls a year. I think this year he catches about 70. It's the same thing as Alfred Morris going up from 12 to 35. It's the same thing. It makes a difference. It makes a difference, though.
You're 19th.
Is what I'm saying.
You're 19th.
Stretching that one. That's okay.
I'm stretching it a little bit.
You're 19th.
All right. My next
Jimmy
pick.
Graham, AJ Green, Reggie Bush, and Chris Ivory.
Okay. This one is also interesting. I am going to take somebody that should have been taken by now. If he stays healthy for 16 games, he will actually be a great PPR guy. And that's DeMarco Murray. And I know that I already have 2 running backs, but we now get that flex extra position. So I'm going to take a DeMarco Murray to make up for that one that Chris Ivory picked that I may have made a mistake on, but I'll admit that right now. That's fine.
That was his handcuff pick. Let's explain this though. You took Chris Ivory and you weren't feeling good about it. And this is the true meaning of what we really believe is a real handcuff.
Yes.
And I went through all the players. There's a couple players that you may want to handcuff just because of their situation. But you don't handcuff the player with their replacement. You handcuff the player by drafting more depth at the position.
Toby Gerhart is not a good handcuff. I hate to say it.
No, not a good
one.
Well, and if you're worried about Chris Ivory, you're not going to grab the guy who's behind him.
Yeah.
Mike Goodson.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you take him,
not be on the team.
Maybe you take him in the 20th round or 22nd round if you have that many rounds.
You look for extra depth in guys who are playing and guys who are out there.
Exactly.
D-Rex.
What we got?
All right, this is a tough pick actually.
What team name is this?
This is the Babysitters.
The Babysitters are back.
So the Babysitters, I want to.
Gronkowski does need a babysitter, by the way, to keep.
Frank Gore is the babysitter. Julio Jones is fine, but he needs a babysitter. Or Shezay. So this is a weird pick right now, but really he's the highest guy on my tiers, and I either have to rework my tiers or I got to stick by him right now, and that's Isaiah Peed.
Interesting. He has an incredible amount of potential. I would like to see him just win it outright when it comes to camps this year.
Yeah,
because listen, he is suspended for that first game, which makes a difference for only one game. But if he wins that job outright, it's not going to make a difference in that first game. They'll run, Richardson, they'll run Zach Stacy. Maybe they'll pass.
That's the guy that scares me. Is Zach Stacy.
Stacy's probably more of.
Richardson doesn't scare me.
I'm
hoping that Stacy is just kind of a Nimrod. Can't get the play down for the first 10 weeks.
Hey,
and then this guy is just good.
Yeah, it could be a very good, very, very good pick for you.
It's a boost. It's a big timer terrible pick. So we'll see.
Let's go back to Team Hate.
Haters.
The Team Hate with LaShawn McCoy, Ray Rice, Randall Cobb, Wes Welker, and we're going to add a guy that I don't hate, Dwayne Bowe.
Fucker.
And as a third wide receiver, looking at Dwayne Bowe and in this offense again, I'm not excited about. I'll give you the negatives. I'm not excited about the fact that it's Alex Smith, as I talked about in the last podcast. He didn't do anything for Michael Crabtree, but I also look at the fact that Michael Crabtree didn't do anything for him until later on. It took him a long time to figure it out. Dwayne Bowe is a guy who had done it with some mediocre quarterbacks. Yeah. So this is a guy who I'm not worried about.
So he can do it with another mediocre.
And there's another benefit for him. The guy on the other side of the field, his name is still Jonathan Baldwin.
Yes.
That guy sucks.
Yeah, he's not
that guy sucks.
Yeah, or it's Donnie Avery.
Yeah, that guy sucks too.
Yeah, he's not so sweet.
It's really not.
You go Dwayne Bowe.
It's a Dwayne Bowe.
It's a good pick.
The Dwayne Bowe.
That's a phenomenal pick. I really wish I had taken him
from dogs again.
You bet.
Somebody's closer.
Who's your team, crazy man? Who are you picking, dog?
All right, so I got Aaron Rodgers, Matt Forte, Darren Sproles, Brandon Marshall. I'm going to go with another PPR giant, and it's going to be even more this year. With the departure of a Mike Wallace, it's an Antonio Brown.
The other guy I was deciding between.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, when it comes to PPR, I think he's just going to get about 90 catches this year.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Let me juxtapose it because with a guy who's probably not going to get drafted in this mock draft.
He may. With the extra 8th position?
Maybe. But Emmanuel Sanders is a guy who talking about what they're expecting out of him, and they're looking for 70 catches, 1,000 yards out of him. This is one of those things that I just don't see. Antonio Brown this season, that's a great expectation, but I think he's going to fall short. I think he's going to end up being in somewhere in the high 50s, low 60s in catches, and probably be in the 800 to 900 yard range. Emmanuel Sanders, right?
Sanders, yeah.
I'm thinking it's going to be more slanted toward Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
and I think that he'll be able to handle it. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't like Emmanuel Sanders. I'm one of the bigger backers of Emmanuel Sanders.
I was from the beginning.
And this is why you're absolutely right that he might get drafted in this type of a situation, because I view him as a perfect number 4 wide receiver, absolutely. A guy who is a bye-week replacement, because he's not going to be the guy who's going to give you the cumulative stats over the season, but you never know. If you have to have those 3 weeks where you're bye-week replacing him, he may get you a week where he gets you 30 points.
Pittsburgh drafted him ahead of Antonio Brown.
Right. He got hurt.
He was very much touted as being the next coming for them. They wanted him to be the next coming. He happened to have injuries. And Antonio Brown took over that second position next to Mike Wallace because of it. So, I do love my Emmanuel Sanders, and he has the potential to be that next guy. Antonio Brown obviously has established himself, but I do love an Emmanuel Sanders. I really do. I think he's a great player, and he should get the chance this year.
Well, now you've still got your second pick for Team Bear.
I do.
Forte and Marshall, Darren Sproles, Aaron Rodgers, and now Antonio Brown.
Yep. It's an interesting one. I have my choice here, and it's going to be a very close one. And I'm not exactly sure which one is the better pick, but I'm going to go with my gut on this one. I'm going to go Tony G.
Wow.
Okay?
All right.
And I'll tell you why. Everybody seems to think that Atlanta is going to get it to Steven Jackson and Julio Jones, and obviously there's Roddy White there quite a bit. Everybody thinks that they're going to lay off on Tony G a lot because he's old and they want to keep him fresh for the playoffs and the Super Bowl and stuff. But let's say they actually do that. Then I get him for what? The fantasy playoffs. My team is strong enough at this point where I like having a Tony G consistent through the normal year, and then when it comes to fantasy playoffs, that's when he turns it on. I'm fine with that. I love a Tony G this year.
All right. Well, now this is interesting. I got Team Hate coming back again, and I got the extra position I got to think about now. So I got an extra draft pick that I can squeeze in somewhere. And I think I want to grab another wide receiver here to give me that depth with the Randall Cobb, Wes Welker, and Dwayne Bowe. Because I'm looking at the running backs, and I don't like what I'm seeing there as far as really giving myself an extra value. And I'm looking at this as the long touchdown, big play, and this is one of those ones where I love a guy, right? And I'm not going to hesitate when I'm taking him as a backup wide receiver. T.Y. Hilton. D-Rex gave the TY before I even said it. He knew where I was going.
Right,
we need a video camera here because that was...
Well, that's good that you say that.
Something special.
Fine. We won't mention it, though, but we'll get them. We're getting the GoPros. Yes. Okay. The babysitters aren't really happy with their last picks. That's a good one. Even though I think he could be great, I could have waited on this guy, on the guy I took, Isaiah Pete. But this team's got some interesting stuff, and I'm going to go slow and steady wins the race right here. And I'm going to take a wide receiver that I actually think is going to be pretty good, and I've never liked him, and that's a Greg Jennings.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that was my next pick. That's a very good pick at this point.
We have been screwing Dog over left and right in this draft here, my friend.
Sorry, my friend.
You have. That's you know what? That's perfectly fine. I find the gems. That's not a problem.
Let's find some gems, Dogmatic.
Let's find some gems.
You got a couple gems in Jimmy Graham, AJ Green, and you backed up your running backs. And now you got Reggie Bush, Chris Ivory, DeMarco Murray. So find us a gem. I'm assuming it's a wide receiver.
Yes, this is going to be an interesting one.
Which means he doesn't need a wide receiver with his next pick because he took Jordy Nelson, Vincent Jackson, and Torrey Smith.
No, that would be my team.
That's what I'm saying. You're doing more
right.
smoke
Right. Well,
yeah.
I assume you need a wide receiver because that's exactly what I'm not taking.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Subliminally, I must always be thinking about this.
Yes, you are.
Which is no problem. I have no problem with you guys actually trying to do that to me.
It's not you guys. It's
just this guy.
just
this guy. Who's the guy that does this and's got 2 pounds?
I'm
this guy right here.
I'm too busy paying attention to my shit.
Okay.
About yours.
I'm going to tell you right now. Larry Fitzgerald camp. Justin Blackmon out for the first 4 games.
Wow.
Give me the Cecil Shorts.
Wow.
I like it.
Cecil. I was going to take him over T.Y. Him and T.Y. Hilton were my 2 decisions that I was making.
I don't believe anything you say.
It's true. Cecil B. DeMille is now on your team.
Cecil Shorts the third. People leave out the third. It's not very nice.
No, I put in the third. When I wrote it down,
RG3. You don't call him RG. So we need to start doing CS3.
It is CS3.
Which is like, what is that? It seems like Creative Suite 3. It's like an Adobe thing.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
All right, so I'm up. I got my team non-PPR in Marshawn Lynch, Alfred Morris, Jordy Nelson, Vincent Jackson, Torrey Smith.
And Valverde.
And at this point in time,
you actually wrote a PPR piece.
I'm ecstatic.
On the site tomorrow.
I'm ecstatic that this player is out here for me at the tight end position. And I'm going to go for a little Baba Ganoush and have a little pita bread, and I'm going to have Dennis Pitta.
Yes, you are.
Baba Ganoush?
That was the decision I was making. It was between Pitta and Tony G. And though I do love a Pitta this year, I don't know. It's really close.
The reason I like Pitta so much, and I think the other guy is going to be a sneaky guy that you may want to start to target, and he's starting to move up my deeper tight ends in the backup ranges, Ed Dixon. Because of the fact that without Anquan Bolden, without only looking at Tannen Dawson, Jacoby Jones out there, along with Torrey Smith, he's a guy who can be effective in the passing game. He was actually the guy who I thought was going to be more effective than Pitta until what Pitta did last year.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's not even... I'm telling you, the second starting receiver on that team, besides Torrey Smith, may not be those 2 guys you just mentioned.
Well, that would be better for them if it wasn't.
Exactly.
All right. What am I doing here? This is
the thriller. This is the team thriller.
Team Thriller doesn't really know what they're getting themselves into right now. But I'm just going to...
There's 2 rounds left.
2 rounds left. You know who I'm going with on this team? Cam Newton.
I'm sorry, you got 2 rounds after this pick, so you still got my mistake.
So Cam Newton added to a team that already has 3 wide receivers in Fitz, Garcon, and White. Got 2 running backs in C.J. Spiller and a Stevan Ridley. We added our quarterback, who I think could be a dominator, and we'll see.
And you got my guy, who I really wanted to get again. I was hoping I was going to get Cam Newton for one of these teams, but
sorry, Nate,
wasn't meant to be. Team Dog with the Foster team.
This one's an interesting one.
This is your best team.
It is. Foster, Jackson, Cruz, Wayne, and Davis.
Don't mess it up.
I know. I'm wondering what to fucking what? I'm interested. And I'm interested in whether I should actually take that quarterback now or not.
Survey says?
The survey says
Jay Cutler.
The survey does not say Jay Cutler. I'll tell you that
I
much.
thought you liked the Bears. Oh, that's a different team.
That's definitely not that team. I am going to take that quarterback, and I'm going to go Matt Stafford. I think that Stafford is going to have an insane year, and he's going to anchor that team to a championship.
Interesting.
Yep.
So I'm sitting here. I already got Jamal Charles, Chris Johnson, Demaryius Thomas, Peyton Manning, Mike Wallace, and I'm going to close out my wide receivers. No, I'm not. I don't like those guys. So here's my pick in the draft where I don't like any of the players that are really out there for me at this position.
Yeah.
And you know what? And this is one of those things where we get the extra round pick. And so this is called proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. And I'm going to grab the trade bait at this point in time. I'm going to fuck things up. And I'm going to grab, I can't believe it, with Peyton Manning, I'm going to now have RG3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, fuck all y'all.
That's interesting. I like that. That is a great pick right there. That's something that you don't normally see in a situation like this. But it is. It's great trade bait.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
either one of the two guys. Whoever I can get more for at the time, especially if RG3 becomes to be healthy, which...
Oh, you already had Peyton Manning.
Correct. We got an extra pick. You gave us an extra round, sucker.
That's a bad pick.
If you think that's a bad pick? Oh, I don't think so. Wait, I'll still have a starting lineup by the time it's all said and done.
I know you will.
And the wide receivers I could have had at this point, I will still get when it comes...
Now you're going to have to think...
You know what that's called?
Now you're going to have to think every week... RG3 or Peyton Manning. You have to give yourself that headache.
I don't care. I'll take the headache for the trade that I'll make later in the year.
It's called best of it.
Hold on. I'm checking the fine print. This league, no trades.
Then why are we drafting backups? You know what then?
There's no trades in this league.
There's trades in this freaking league. What do you? That's awesome.
All right, well let's. It's if there's no trade.
It's a joke.
I know. But if there are no trades, as a joke. Here comes your team that you're going to wish you had trades. Calvin Johnson, David Wilson, Danny Amendola, Le'Veon Bell, Darren McFadden. Somebody traded because half my team is injured.
Loving it.
Yep.
What do you say?
You like it a lot?
What do you say there, Johnny boy?
Go for it.
All right. This team doesn't suck.
No, it's a fine.
It doesn't suck.
If they all pan out.
Yeah. It's got a lot of question marks.
This is team pan down.
If it is bankrupt, but if it hits jackpot, oh lordy! All right. So what I need to do here is I need a wide receiver, and I need one bad. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go with the guy that I think's got the most upside because I might have to draft another wide receiver after this guy that'll start for me, but Justin Blackmon.
Oh wow.
Cool.
Who'd you think I was
have
good?
like guys who could be all injured by week 4, and then one guy who starts in week 5.
Yes, exactly.
There you go. I like it.
But you thought you knew what I was going to take.
Oh, I knew what you were going to take.
What was
it? I can't believe that you didn't take him. I'm not going to mention it yet. What are you, nuts?
All right.
What are you, crazy?
What are you,
bankrupt Justin Blackmon. Oh God, this is an interesting team.
Yeah.
I like it though. I like it.
Okay, so I got my pick right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got. What is it? Drew Brees, Trent Richardson, Lamar Miller, Andre Johnson, Marquise Colston?
Correct.
Is that correct? Holy cow. This is a nice little team I got going here. It's not too bad at all. And I'm going to take the guy.
Nice little team, not too bad at all.
Not too bad at all.
Yeah, and I'm going to take the guy that I think you probably should have taken right there.
Go for it.
Anquan.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Give me my Anquan Bolden. He's the only receiver there at this point.
You're right. I should have taken him.
You know, it's a San Francisco offense that is gearing for a Super Bowl. They're going to need Anquan Bolden. They didn't get him for nothing. And Michael Crabtree's gone. I like it.
All right. So
he didn't fit in with the bankrupt moniker.
I'm going to go. No. This is now time for Team Mighty Mites to make another appearance. The small, diminutive team of Doug Martin, MJD, Percy Harvin, Deshaun Jackson, and Steve Smith. And I'm going to pick a chucker at this point in time, and I want Matt Ryan chucking the ball for this team.
There you go. I don't blame you. That's a great pick. Matt Ryan is going to do just fine this year. The guy has always been on the up and up. Matter of fact, he is the only quarterback to have upped his fantasy points in each of the last 5 years in a row. The only one in the entire league.
Wow.
Believe it.
Believe it. I'm not looking at any internet right now. I know that off the top of my head.
I believe it. Okay, so do we got...
Wrap around for D-Rex.
Got a rappy.
For Team Black Jesus.
Team Black Jesus. We are going to do it up right now, and we are going to make some interesting picks. God, I don't like this. The way this drop-off is not fun right now.
So this is one of those bad situations for you at this pick, where you don't like your options, right?
Yeah, I don't really love my options at all.
It's a cover for my dead air for a second, guys.
I think here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take with this team. God, I don't like it, but I'm doing it. All right, I'm going to James Jones, and I'm going to Jeremy Maclin.
Whoa.
Interesting. You're buying into the words. I like it.
No, I'm not. I do not like.
I'm buying into the offense. I think the offense.
I do not like those last two picks at all.
No, you probably shouldn't. But that's beside the point.
All right, so
I'm happy you took him.
I'm now at the point with my little mighty mites, and we're in a good position here. I'm really feeling confident with my Doug Martin, MJD, Percy Harvin, Deshaun Jackson, Steve Smith, Matt Ryan, and I'm going to add Jared Cook. Here's a guy, again, who has the potential. His old coach brings him back. Is basically a wide receiver at the tight end position. And if he ever utilizes the potential that he has, this could be the league that he actually maximizes his potential in.
Could be.
That's what I said. Could be.
Could be. The Rams could have 7 different guys catch 40 balls this year. And one of them will be Jared Cook. He does have the chance to explode. I definitely agree with you right there. It's not a bad pick at all. I think he definitely has one of the highest potentials of the tight ends this year in that second, third tier range. I fully agree with that.
So who's your pick?
My pick. This is a team where I have Drew Brees, Trent Richardson, Lamar Miller as my running backs, Andre Johnson, Marquise Colston, and Anquan Bolden. I have a tight end to fill, and I have a flex to fill. This is an interesting one, and I got to tell you, I'm not taking my tight end yet because I got my eye on a few key ones later on. I'm going to take a Rashard Mendenhall right here.
Good pick.
I think that he has the potential to be a breakout guy in that offense, especially with Bruce Arians in Arizona. He's going to be a number 1 guy, and there's not a lot of those guys left, so you got to take him at some point. I think that's where you got to take him.
I think that's a great pick.
Thank you.
I really do. I wish I had taken him instead of my 2. I felt the need to pick my needs, but I think Mendenhall's got a great opportunity. And I don't like the guy particularly, but it seems like Arians really does. His quote that I love and have stated, the guy got me to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He got me to a Super Bowl. So,
yeah, and he said, he's my guy. That's it.
He's my guy. Done. All right, Team Bancroft. We got Megatron, David Wilson, Danny Amendola, Le'Veon Bell, Run DMC, Justin Blackmon. I'm going to agree with you that I wish I had a Bolden over a Blackmon. To be honest, internet problems once again getting the best of us. I'm not working. I'm working off a screen version of my tiers, so I can't scratch them off. Bad excuse, but I feel like I had, just so you guys know, where Bolden is on my tiers. And I'm going to move him down because it didn't feel right, really. But on my tiers, I had Bolden ranked 13th.
I know you did.
13th. And I just took Blackmon, who I had ranked 28th.
That should not happen.
That's the kind of thing. But that's why we do mock drafts, and you remember these guys. And you remember, I want a Bolden on my team. He's all they got, a wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's going to fucking snooze for you plenty of weeks.
Yep.
But he's going to have some huge outings.
Hey, and if you're having him as your third,
Yeah, and third wide receiver. Exactly. That's just what the doctor ordered. All right, so team bankrupt.
It's not bankrupt. This is. It is.
It's bankrupt.
Yeah, you're right.
On that team,
I went bankrupt on that.
There you go. I got Le'Veon Bell, and David Wilson, and Run DMC. So I got 3 running backs. So I'm gonna try and go for another wide receiver here, and it's been pretty bad time at the wide receiver position as I made.
Find the gem, brother.
You can't take a wide receiver. You've already backed up your running back. You cannot go another backup. You got to take your starting lineup. You got to fill a tight end or quarterback.
Oh, you're right.
I'm playing.
You're right.
Master
Megatron.
Commander
You're right.
on
No,
you.
it's good.
You've already did this once, and you started it with this Darren McFadden
All right.
team.
Fine.
Can't do it twice. We'll go 9 rounds. Let's just go 16. Full draft. Let's go the whole 9 yards. I'll start every time to make this team as good as I can because it's bankrupt.
Just leave it running. Catch me
It's
snoring.
bankrupt. This team sucks.
Yeah. Hey, I agree. Well said. Everything you said is spot on. Love it. All right. So
I'm going to readjust and go for a tight end or a quarterback here.
Well, I'm going to go for a quarterback. And you know who I'm going to take?
Dodge man.
I'm going to take someone just to stinker eye both of you guys.
Russell Wilson.
You know what?
No, I don't think you're going to.
I want to, but
You're
the fact is,
no, you're taking Brady.
No, I'm definitely. It's sad that Brady's literally
off your radar.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Not. It is weird, but
you wanted Peyton Manning, though.
I think what I'm going to do with this team, because it's bankrupt. This is what I'm going with. A guy that just inked a lot of dough and is not bankrupt, so he'll be able to take care of the rest of the team. A Tony Romo.
Oh. Yeah, you are. There's a lot of potential there. There's a ton of potential. I mean, the guy's got Des Bryant, who's. I don't know. I think he's going to get 4,000 yards this year. Is that right?
He's got assist off his back. Now he's got to take a monkey off his back.
All right. Well, let's move on to team big play or team trade bait, as it may be, with Jamal Charles, Chris Johnson, Demaryius Thomas, Peyton Manning, Mike Wallace, and RG3. Loving it. Someone wants RG3 in a 12-team league. I will tell you.
Oh, I'll take him as my receiver.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the wide receiver right now that I love having, again, as a third wide receiver, as a guy who has the potential to make some ridiculous monster touchdowns, long plays, has the potential when being focused on by his quarterback and playing for a contract, Kenny Britt.
Oh, you mother.
That's the third or fourth time I've taken one from Dog.
He's just trying to make you feel good.
No, I'm not actually. I really do think that Britt's going to have a pretty good year here.
I'm done with Britt.
Everybody is done with Britt. That's the sneaker this year. That's the one that's the sneaker that nobody thinks about. He's going to fall down everybody's board, and believe me, he's the guy who's going to actually come
This is a 12-team league. This is a 12-team league where we had the extra round, and I drafted a quarterback instead. Got him in the middle of the 7th round.
Yeah,
as a third wide receiver. That's pretty good value.
That's something that can happen. You know, and
it just did.
It just did. There's a lot of guys.
OMG. Who team 6? Who you going for, dog?
OMG, I just fired you as my friend.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Just pick.
OMG.
All right.
I said it once. You said it 3 times.
OMG.
All right, you're fired.
Damn. Who are you taking? That's your best team. Don't mess it up.
All right. I got Stafford. I got Foster and Jackson, Cruz and Wayne. I got Vernon Davis. So I'm looking at obviously a third wide receiver here. It's an interesting pick. I'm going to take somebody who is just going to get me the good and steady. And believe me, Manning loves him. It's a Decker.
Good pick.
Yep. Give me an Eric Decker right there. That's a happy third wide receiver. I'm fine with that.
I had Eric Decker.
Is he like a happy tree? He's a happy tree over there.
Smiley cloud.
A happy Eric Decker. Hiding behind the tree.
So this is
and here's the Sonny Bono crashed into the tree.
That's not very nice. Without a helmet. C.J. Spiller, Larry Fitzgerald, Garcon, Roddy White, Stevan Ridley, Cam Newton, and on this team, I got 2 picks left, right?
You do.
Correct.
2 picks.
Correct.
The
Because
tight
we
end
extended
and
it 8
backup.
rounds. Yeah.
Tight end and a backup.
Back it up. Back it up.
All right, I'm going to not go tight end yet, and I'm going to go with
Back it up.
an upside guy, but he's just not very sweet to have on your team. But we will see. We're going to roll it. Ryan Matthews.
Interesting. I like that too. I was actually debating between Matthews and Mendenhall at that point when I took Mendenhall a couple picks ago. Matthews has every bit of potential.
They want him to be good.
They do.
He might not be. He might not be.
No.
But they're going to let him see if he can be. And he hasn't so far, so maybe he'll...
Very possible Woodhead outscores him.
Yeah.
All right, so let me
Agreed.
go to team non-PPR. And at team non-PPR, we have Marshawn Lynch, Alfred Morris, Jordy Nelson, Vincent Jackson, Torrey Smith, and Dennis Pitta. And now, again, I either need to go for a quarterback or to back somebody up. And I'm going to go for the backup plan at this point in time. And this one I think is actually really interesting that he slides here. Here's a guy that has been more highly regarded, and I think D-Rex and I fell in love with him about 2 years ago watching one game, and then we realized that it was false love, which is why he's becoming my backup and replacement, bye-week replacement receiver, Stevie Johnson.
Stevie.
You know what? For PPR purposes, I think Stevie Johnson actually might be pretty good this year.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and
because he's
as a
moving a
bye-week
line in-
replacement, it's a great spot for him to be.
He's moving into the slot. He's going to be the most dependable receiver amongst a group of a bunch of rookies and him, with a possible rookie QB or Kevin Cobb. I think he's got a lot of potential as a PPR guy. I think that's a pretty good pick, actually. I like that.
All right, Dog, you're up with Team Interesting.
Team Interesting is what? Bush, Ivory, Green, Shorts, Graham, and Murray?
Correct.
All right, so I need a QB and I need a wide receiver at this point. I'm going to make it even more interesting, and I'm going to go with a dark horse type of guy. A guy that, I don't know, I think has potential to put up some pretty good wide receiver numbers this year.
Martellus Bennett, the black unicorn, is a dark horse.
I know he's gonna take.
That's terrible. I can't believe you just
He's the black unicorn. The unicorn's a horse. Give me a break. It's a dark horse.
with butterfly, with like rainbows floating off of it.
No, it's more like thunder clouds floating off a black unicorn. Come on, man. It's an evil unicorn.
I know who Dog's gonna take, and I think he's my next pick.
I got 3 guys I'm choosing between.
Okay, take one of them. I'm hoping you don't
Take one of them.
I hope you don't take my guy.
I'm going to take an Aaron Dobson.
Yeah, not him.
Not
Love
him.
it. No, that's a great pick. I like that guy.
Again, people are going to be listening to this podcast and go, who is Aaron Dobson? Well, Aaron Dobson is a rookie who is going to have the ultimate chance playing for the New England Patriots, where you have a fragile Danny Amendola on Team Bankrupt, and you have...
Nobody else.
Correct.
Nobody else. I'll just throw it out there. Nobody
Fill in
else.
the blank.
And
No Aaron Hernandez. Rob Gronkowski is iffy.
Strong, 6'3", stud. This guy looks good. Good pick.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take the guy that I think I need. Hold on, I might not even need it. 1, 2...
Does he need a receiver?
I don't, but I can take one as a backup. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna. He's still around. Russell Wilson.
Oh, you took him from me.
Okay. You fuck.
I had to do it. I needed him there, and the other guy that I was going to take.
That there.
I'm still going to take him. He's going to come back.
Well, there was the one that you jumped me, where I have Team Hate.
Team Hate needed that.
Which Team Hate needed it to bring some balance to Team Hate. And now there's going to be no balance because there's going to be a lot of hate on Team Hate.
You're going to get a guy that people hate.
There is going to be a lot of hate here. So I got LaShawn McCoy, Ray Rice, Randall Cobb, Wes Welker, Dwayne Bowe, backed up the wide receivers with T.Y. Hilton. And at this point in time, we're going to bypass the quarterback and we're going to say hello to Greg Olsen. This is called Long Touchdown League. And I know that Kyle Rudolph has the touchdowns, but you know what? He had no wide receivers there before. There is a Greg Jennings there now. There is a Cordero Patterson there now. There is still an Adrian Peterson there now. And there is also still a Christian Ponder there now. So, I will take Greg Olsen, and with my boy who I love, Superman Cam Newton.
All right.
And what can you say to that? Not much. Not much.
I can say that you listen to Frank Zappa.
I do.
Right over here today.
Catholic girls.
You sounded like Frank Zappa that they're picking. I liked it.
Love it.
All right, Dogmanica, Team
Wrapping
Bears.
around to the last round.
This is the wrap around. All right, so
the final 2 picks for this.
The Tressmans.
I need a wide receiver, and then I need my flex. So with my wide receiver, I will take flat out right now. Give me a Ryan Broyles. I will take Ryan Broyles as that receiver. If he starts game 1, he's going to be a PPR giant. And I guarantee it because everybody's going to be throwing double coverage on Calvin Johnson, and Ryan Broyles is going to reap the benefits.
So since you said if he starts week 1, I assume you're going to back him up with another wide receiver?
That is quite possible. And I can't wait.
Screen. Well played.
Absolutely. And here it comes. I will take with that other pick
Malcolm
right
Floyd?
there. Yeah, no, I will take with that other pick right there. No, it's not Malcolm Floyd.
Who do you thought he was going to Jedi mind trick?
That was a total smoke screen. Please take him.
Oh, you're going to take him?
Here's my wife. Take her.
Take her.
Anywhere.
Take my wife,
Please,
Rodney. I love it.
Yeah.
That's actually a Benny Youngman or something like that. One of the older guys. One of the old comedians used to do that. Benny Youngman.
Yeah, you're right.
Take my wife, please. Where? Anywhere. I don't care. Just get her out of here.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's hilarious.
Dark horse player. Ahmad Bradshaw.
Oh, man. Not bad.
Give me an Ahmad Bradshaw.
That team got real slow at the end there. So what was it? What was the pick before that?
Ryan Broyles.
Yep.
All right, so I need a quarterback now. And again, like I kind of figured, the guy was going to slide to me. And I'm going to be very happy. And I'm going to pair him up for my bye week replacement with T.Y. Hilton. I'm going to take Andrew Luck.
Be my guest.
Be my guest. Be my guest.
Don't do it.
See my
Don't
real gorilla chest.
Oh, you love that one.
That's Simpsons pride all the way.
That's fine. I thought you were going to break into a show too.
It is.
It is,
But
basically,
Simpsons done by groaning.
Either way.
Done by groaning.
Groaning.
You're groaning right now. As I did.
All right. So what
So
I
is
can,
half of our audience.
You know what I
anymore.
For listening to 2 hours and 17 minutes of this crap, we're actually pretty much not going to be able to review these teams.
We're gonna do a fast.
We'll do
brief,
a fast one.
brief.
Okay.
Good, bad.
You know what I'm going to try? I'm going to do here. I'm going to take a guy that I think is going to be a stud, and I'm taking Christine Michael.
Wow.
Taking Christine Michael.
Oh wow. Now this is a rookie, so people know. Backing up potentially Marshawn Lynch,
And he's my third running back.
He's the guy
he's the kind of guy that I hope I have to play, but it means basically that Marshawn Lynch is having a bad year, got injured, or this guy is a breakout player.
and I'll tell you this: that we all believe
thing.
that Christian Michael is going to be the guy who is going to be the heir apparent replacement to Marshawn Lynch within 2 years.
Yeah, next year he's going to be high, shooting up these draft charts. We'll see if it's because of this year's play. Risky pick, but he's got high upside.
And this is interesting, Team Dog. You need a quarterback with this pick, and so do I with mine right after you. So
Bummer.
I know who you taking.
Brady.
Oh, there it is.
Brady. Wow. Dobson and Tom Brady. I mean, Brady's going in the 7th round in 12-man league.
Had to happen.
It was absolutely had to happen. So this is, again, team non-PPR for me. Marshawn Lynch, Jordy Nelson, Vincent Jackson, Torrey Smith, Dennis Pitta, back up with a Stevie Johnson as a bye week replacement. Now I need to get that quarterback, and so here's one of those ones where it looks like it's really only a 12 deep, and I screwed it because I screwed myself in this, being the guy who took the extra quarterback at RG3, who could have been on this team.
And Luck.
Well, no, but I took Luck, who actually. Well, right, but he was one of the top 12.
Oh, but Luck is your number one. Okay,
right. I had Manning and RG3. I was the only team that decided to back up the quarterback. But there's a guy out there who's still a solid quarterback that has great wide receivers. I'm taking Eli Manning, and I'm not upset about it with waiting this long.
No, and he has potential to be, as he has been in the past in certain years of his life.
He was in the top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah.
He's been top 10 before as well.
This is what the proof in the pudding is about. There's depth at the quarterback position. So sure, I let a guy, and I even wanted to prove it myself. I'm going to double up on this one, get the trade bait guy, great young player. And what am I screwed with at the end? Now I may have to go for another quarterback there afterward, but I mean. Any of the other ones, it's
afterwards.
After Eli Manning, it's a sharp drop off.
You got you got Michael Vick. If he wins the job, has potential.
I like
you
Andy
have
Dalton
Ryan
better.
Tannehill, who has a lot of potential.
Stop with Tannehill. Andy
I'm
Dalton.
not going to stop with Tannehill.
Andy Dalton, I like. Now here's why. You have the progression of A.J. Green. You got what's going on with all the other wide receivers in that, and I love the addition of Giovanni Bernard to that offense. That's going to help Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's a guy who's maybe been averaging about 230, 240 yards a game. He's going to see that probably closer to 260 yards a game this year. That's why we love A.J. Green. I know you love A.J. Green. I do as well. I see him making that next big transition, but part of that's because of the red rifle bringing it home.
Now, do you love Larry Fitzgerald?
Yeah.
Do you love what's going to happen with a Bruce Arians there?
Yes, I do.
Well, then Carson Palmer isn't a terrible backup to something like that,
Correct.
too.
So I'm saying there's still quarterbacks out there.
Exactly what I'm saying. There's guys out there to be had. Eli Manning tops it. Agreed.
Right.
Fully agreed with that.
But there's a drop on that because of his talent.
And
the way that David Wilson.
But what this is proving is it's a strong.
Andy's a 16 game.
He never had that. Look, Peyton's not. 16 game guy. Peyton's never had that dump off that C.J. Spiller could go for a long one. He hasn't.
And look what David Wilson. Yeah, David Wilson's going to bring that to him. There's so much that's potential. But look, what the point is,
Wilson
13 quarterback deep.
Yeah.
We're okay, and you're not sitting there going, "Oh my God, I got the 13th quarterback off the board as my starter." It's Eli Manning, a guy who was going in number 6 or number 4 or number 5 last year.
And there's still quarterbacks. All right, my next pick. This is the Thrillers. We're going with Antonio Gates. I like the guy. He slips in crazy. I wouldn't take him here, other than the fact that I have to fill out the tight end position. Let that be clear,
right?
Because this is a guy that's going in like the 13th round, but. I like holding out, playing the game and holding out for a late Antonio Gates because he is sliding away, and I think
let's put it this way:
he's going to get a lot of. He's not going to be amazing, but he's going to get a lot of opportunity with Rivers. He's the one guy he knows.
Here's where your proof is on this: is that you're drafting him here because you have to draft a starting lineup. There's other guys that may be drafted ahead of him, but you do believe, and as I do believe. He's going to get better yards and better points than those guys.
Than a Kyle Rudolph.
Right. Now,
I like him more.
And I love the fact that you're saying, I know that I will be able to get him, and listeners understand. We know that you'll be able to get him later in drafts. But if we're only being able to draft the starting lineup...
You can get him in the teens in the mock
draft. If there's only going to be a starting lineup, I want him as one of my starters.
Yeah.
He's one of my top 12.
You can get him in the teens. He has slipped to unbelievable levels in any mock I've done.
Yeah, and he will continue to do so. This second team that I had, Stafford, Foster, Steven Jackson, Victor Cruz, Wayne, and Decker, Vernon Davis as the tight end. I got one slot left, and it is the flex/extra, whatever guy you want to take. I'm going to take a chance here.
He's going to go with a sexy name. This is the all-sexy name team.
It is.
I know who you're going to pick.
It's
a rookie.
Giovanni Bernard.
Oh.
You were thinking about Eddie Lacy.
No,
I know you were. What were you thinking?
I was actually thinking you were going with a wide receiver, but you didn't need one. I thought you were going to go with Tavon Austin, but I knew it was going to be a rookie.
No. I'm going with Giovanni Bernard. I think he's going to be a PPR guy. If he takes over that starting role from Jarvis Green-Ellis, he could be a stud. And if Eric Foster goes down, That gives me another guy to throw in there.
That's a great pick. That's your best team. That's a nice team. When Decker is your wide receiver 4, is your worst player, your wide receiver 3.
Well, here's the team.
Not wide receiver 3.
Here's a 3. Who are your 3s?
I was.
Yeah, we're not going there.
I'm saying like anybody.
We're not going there.
I was saying this is a good team, dude.
All right. So
I'm not being offensive.
Let me go to my favorite. Let me go to one. Well, I got 2 favorite teams, and this is
Ron Jeremy
right up there with my Jamal Charles, Chris Johnson, Demaryius Thomas, Peyton Manning, Mike Wallace, RG3, Kenny Britt, and I got to add a tight end to close it out. And he's still there, Kyle Rudolph. So the thing I love about this team is that I got that trade bait in RG3 or Peyton Manning. I can trade either one of them, especially because if I wait till after week 4 until RG3 is fully healthy, and I can get the full Manning value if he shows what he's got. This is a team that, wow, I'm ecstatic with what I got out of the number 5 hole on this team. Move it on.
All right, I got
huge fan of your Kyle Rudolph pick right there. Huge fan. I think he should have gone above Gates. No offense to Gates, because I think Gates is going to have a great year as well. I think he should have gone above Jared Cook. I think he should have maybe even gone above, Greg Olsen. I think that Kyle Rudolph is going to have an outstanding year.
Well, I hope so, because I have him in my 16-team keeper league. But we're not talking about our own teams right now. We're talking about these mock draft teams.
No, I agree. I kind of stayed away from.
Yeah,
I kind of stayed away from him, but I don't disagree. I do like what's his name though, Gates. But I need a tight end.
You need a tight end.
So tight end, I would have liked to have had a Kyle Rudolph. Not going to happen. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going Zach Miller on your ass.
Hey, he's one of those guys that has a ton of potential. He showed it towards the end of last year. Everybody knew it. Everybody saw it. The guy was awesome when he was on Oakland. Awesome. He just hasn't been utilized on Seattle until like the last 5 weeks, including the playoffs. Like two regular season games and 3 playoff games, or 3 and 2 or whatever. The guy's got star potential.
If Martellus Bennett, and again, I know I'm mentioning names, are probably guys that need players, but if Martellus Bennett wasn't such a mental midget, I would like him over Zach Miller. I like the opportunity. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Bennett could be great, but there's something about him. He reminds me of Dwight Howard. He's not serious enough. It's like he doesn't really take pride in his craft. He just is happy to be there and making the most of it in the wrong ways. So anyway,
well, we each got 1 pick left in this draft.
Go, dog. You're up.
All right. Well, I got a pretty good, steady team going here, and I think at this point,
let's refresh. It's Trent Richardson, Lamar Miller.
Actually, let's do it from QB down through, because when you do it when you go pick through pick, it doesn't make sense as much.
Well, we do have it posted underneath the podcast, but that's okay.
Drew Brees is the QB. Trent Richardson and Lamar Miller are the running backs. Andre Johnson, Colston, and Bolden as the wide receivers, and Rashard Mendenhall as a backup. So I need a tight end. And I'm going to go with a big chance right here, because tight end right now, it looks like I have a very vanilla, steady team. I'm going to go with a Jordan Cameron. I think he has the most breakout ability of all the rest of the guys. I have guys ranked ahead of him, but that's only steady ability. I think Jordan Cameron has the most breakout ability.
And he's on the Browns.
And he's on the Browns. Yes, he's on the Browns.
They have.
Ozzie Newsome did pretty fucking good there on the Browns.
They have the 32nd hardest schedule against the tight end.
They do, and they
against basically everything, as we talked
pretty
about.
Much everything.
They have the hardest schedule for their offense. But I like him. I agree. He's a stud. That guy. We'll see. He's the kind of guy who probably is the top 5 pick next year if Whedon and him can get anything going, and the youth can kind of take the next step. All right, Houdini.
Yes.
Your last pick.
Team Mighty Mites.
The
Mini Mouses.
The mini stacks.
The miniatures. The miniatures. The mini me's.
What was that one cartoon with the
Mighty
little,
Mouse?
the little the minis? What was the one where they had the little oh god, never mind.
They had miniatures of people, the Animaniacs.
I used to love this cartoon from Saturday morning.
Was it like that?
Smurfs? No.
Was it the mini? Was it the baby Muppets?
Just go on. I can't believe I'm not remembering. It really was one of my favorites.
All right, so I got all. This is definitely Mighty Mouse. I mean, what are you talking about?
Just go on.
Is the Mighty Mites, the small champions. I got Matt Ryan, Doug Martin, MJD, Percy Harvin, Deshaun Jackson, Steve Smith, Jared Cook, and my extra Mighty Mite, I'm going small again, Kendall Wright.
Interesting. He's got a shit ton of ability, and I hope that Tennessee uses it this year because they did not use it last year. They underutilized that guy tremendously last year.
And he's a big play type of a receiver. That's what I'm looking for that backup receiver. I want a guy that's got potential to strike and give me a
love
week.
it.
I'm gonna admit that this team kind of fell by the wayside as far as I'm concerned. I'm not very happy with it, and it started out good. But it is the kind of team that
it was
can win a
Adrian
championship.
Peterson to start out. So
it could win a championship. And Kaepernick, I think, was going to be sweet, too. Nix could be good, and I love a Witten in ball. But it's just not – it doesn't really strike a chord for me. But I think maybe I just got to go out on the last pick here. I'm going to take Denario Alexander.
There you go. It's not a bad pick right there. I mean, the guy's got a ton of potential. He's 6'5". 230. He's got a little bit of speed. He got catches.
He's got a little gimpy knee action, but he looked good last year.
This is going to be our longest podcast ever. So let's do a quick review of this, though.
Quick review.
I think we need to do.
We got literally like 5 minutes.
So let's do this. No comments from anybody else. Let's each review our own teams. We'll start with team number 1. Go ahead, D-Rex, review your team.
Obviously started out strong. I like the all day to be able to get a steady amount of balls.
Give them your team name.
This is Black Jesus. And then Witten coming in with his PPR is a good time. Hakeem Nicks contract year, good times. In the 5th round, you got Colin Kaepernick. I like it, but again, looking at that now, I still think I could get maybe one round later and maybe pick up a better wide receiver. Maybe you can get a Jordy Nelson or someone or a Wes Welker in that range and then get Kaepernick the next round. But who knows? Maybe Kaepernick would have been gone. A couple quarterbacks did go there. James Jones-Macklin, I really don't like that at all. Denario Alexander's backup. The wide receivers fell off, and I think that's what kind of happens if you're going to take a Witten. If you're going to take that tight end, who's probably going to be great in PPR with that 3rd pick, you're going to suffer in the wide receiver zone. So, Houdini, your 2nd pick.
So again, this is the team, the Mighty Mites, where we started with Doug Martin, which I love, and I was really concerned as to what was I going to see coming back for my second running back, and I was very happy. I got MJD as the second running back. That couldn't have gone any better, but I was really not pleased. Again, this is what happens when you're at the front of a draft. You go 2 running backs in that situation. My wide receivers, no matter what, as you pass on it, was not as good. Percy Harvin being my first one. I like Percy Harvin. Deshaun Jackson, Steve Smith. These are all guys who are great potential, but it's a lot of potential out there. So, and I backed it up with a Kendall Wright as a backup there. So more of the same. And I go with a Matt Ryan who's solid and Jared Cook who has the potential as well. So, honestly, of all my teams, this is not one of my favorite teams, even though I had the benefit of getting Doug Martin with the 2nd pick.
Other than Deshaun Jackson, I like this team.
I do like the team as well.
I don't love Wright either, but
it's a fine team.
It's a good team.
Absolutely.
It's a solid team, but it's not I don't know. It's a potential. It's so much potential.
It's a really short team.
It is. They're so short.
So short.
Doug.
All right, this one's called the Mole. I got Drew Brees at QB. I got Trent Richardson and Lamar Miller.
Your team should be called the Removed Mole then.
The Removed Mole.
Right.
Scarface. How about that? All right, Drew Brees at QB. I got running backs Trent Richardson, Lamar Miller, and Rashard Mendenhall. I have Andre Johnson, Marquise Colston, and Anquan Bolden as my receivers. Very vanilla, but very much of
and aged.
Yes, engaged.
But you might have the best. That might be the best running back situation.
Absolutely. Trent Richardson, Lamar Miller, and Rashard Mendenhall.
Strong.
Jordan Cameron is the tight end with a ton of potential, but who knows what's going to happen there.
Not a sexy name, but he's got upside.
I like, obviously, Drew Brees is going to carry you every week. He's going to put up the points. That's not a problem. Trent Richardson, providing his health, is going to put up the points every week, I believe, as well. Lamar Miller has incredible breakout ability. If Andre Johnson stays healthy, Colston stays the same, Bolden does well in San Fran, and Jordan Cameron, this one is a monster.
The only questions with this team is wide receiver. They're old wide receivers.
They're old.
And let's be honest, Miller, there's some youth at the running back that has some question marks. But it's a solid team. Drew Brees in the 5th round saves and anchors a team. I mean, he's like you said, he's going to hold the fort down every week.
Absolutely.
Every week, the guy's basically, you're pretty much shocked if he doesn't have 3 TDs in a week.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
It's hard to say about any other.
Him and Peyton Manning, those two.
It's a good team. Not a lot of breakout ability when it comes to wide receiver position. They're old, but steady.
This is the kind of team that would put up a nice bid for total points.
Agreed.
Especially
PPR style.
Yeah.
When you got Andre and Marquise and Anquan. Trent Richardson.
I still think there's a lot of question marks.
But But that's the same with a lot of teams, including this team of mine, more than any other one. Bankrupt. I went with Megatron. David Wilson, high impact, but a lot of ifs there. Danny Amendola, if his unless he's able to get his clavicle situation worked out, could be trouble. I love Le'Veon Bell in the 4th round. Yeah, he hasn't done shit on a stick yet other than at Michigan State, but he's going to get the opportunity with the Steelers. Run DMC, boost. I mean, he's boom or bust. Justin Blackman, I kind of wish I had taken a Bolden. I agree on that one. But after that 4-game missed, he's going to get a lot of opportunities. Romo.
But let's also remember, 4 games missed in fantasy can be really, really, really bad. So, that's something that's painful. And the other thing is that I just worry about this team. It's so improving at running back. I mean, you have literally between the 2 guys, one's a rookie and the other guy's a second guy here. You have less than 50 carries as a complete.
And then you got Run DMC to hold the fort down.
Right, who hasn't had one.
But I love the Romo in the 7th. I think that's a huge value, and I like Zach Miller. But I think, to go back to your Percy Harvin thing and what I think with Wilson, I think Wilson's going to be a great fantasy quarterback, but because he spreads the ball around so much. He's going to do that Brady thing from 3 years ago, where it's just like he's really going to find the open guy and not going to play.
He really had one great game last year. It happened to be in the game that they lost to Atlanta in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that was like one of his only 300-yard games. I think it was his only 300-yard game all season.
Yeah.
So he's not. Percy Harvin adds that dimension. But it's not going to mean that, Russell Wilson's going to be, he's a winner. That's what he is.
All right, your Donkey Balls team.
I love Donkey Balls. This is my Pyro team name, Donkey Balls. And this may be my favorite team. I really love the potential. You're talking about long touchdown, heavy yardage, PPR. I got Jamal Charles and Chris Johnson at my running back. I got Peyton Manning and RG3 backing them up. I got Demaryius Thomas, Mike Wallace, waited and got Kenny Britt, and Kyle Rudolph as my tight end. That team is sick. And you think about the trade potential, because there's going to be a team. And this is where I think about the quarterback position this year. If you have one of those top quarterbacks, and look, when you look at this draft, this is showing you can draft that other one in round 6 and still get a viable 3rd wide receiver. The way that I did this.
And a viable tight end.
And now have the trade potential to say, you can trade one of your quarterbacks in one of your whatever other positions. Maybe I can make a trade to get Adrian Peterson. This is one of those things.
Not likely, but...
Well, no, because everyone's going to ask the world for Adrian Peterson, but if I go to you, what if I give you Peyton Manning and Chris Johnson for Adrian Peterson?
I would.
You'll think about it if one of your guys is hurt.
I would say no.
Yeah, listen. Though I agree, I fully agree with your concept.
There's work out there that I will be able to work a deal somewhere. I'll tell you that right now.
I love it.
I fully agree with your concept there. I'm not sure it would have been Griffin.
Ron Jeremy. What do you got going on?
Yeah, you'll believe it was Griffin when
Ron Jeremy.
Ron Jeremy. Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
He didn't even know that.
I didn't get it.
Matthew Stafford, Arian Foster, Steven Jackson as my starting running backs. Giovanni Bernard backing that up and a PPR style like that. Victor Cruz, Reggie Wayne, Eric Decker, a couple of them PPR studs. Eric Decker could be still a good player on that team. And a Vernon Davis. That's a pretty nice team, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, I like the Ron Jeremys. The Ron Jeremys are pretty solid. The Decker and Giovanni, they're good.
Yeah.
No, they're good. There's nothing wrong with them. There's that's actually very, very high value picks.
On Decker's at the right value too, because Decker should not be drafted as a wide receiver 2. But if you're getting him at a wide receiver 3, that's great value.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Here's a guy that scores touchdowns, and he's still going to be.
He's a red zone target.
That's what I mean. He's still going to be that, even with the addition of Wes Welker. It's not going to change the fact.
Absolutely.
And him and Demaryius Thomas are the true red zone targets for that team.
But what I did with that one is I backed up the running backs instead, just in case, with that 8th pick. And grabbed a Giovanni Bernard, who has potential to become a starting guy in this league pretty close to immediately. Ben Jarvis Greenells isn't that good, just in case anybody was wondering. He's really not that good.
He wasn't drafted by any of us.
I can't believe that this podcast is going to go almost 3 hours.
Let's do it. Let's finish
the Thrillas.
But
you're
I would take wide receivers after
the Thrillas. C.J. Spiller, Larry Fitz, Pierre Garçon, Roddy White, Stevan Ridley, Cam Newton, Ryan Matthews, and Antonio Gates. I think there's a nice rhythm of slow and steady and solid guys with guys that could reach maximum potential. But I don't love this team at all. I mean, if Ryan Matthews finally does something, okay, the team looks a lot better. But Ridley, I had him last year in basically every league. I liked him. Do I think he's going to be better this year? Maybe. But I don't really love him. I love my wide receivers, Larry Fitz, Garçon, and White. I think they're probably amongst the best of any team here.
Agreed.
But we'll see. Spiller needs to catch a lot of balls. Ridley's not going to catch balls. So this isn't really a PPR-geared team, but maybe it is for wide long yards and touchdowns. I don't know. Cam Newton sounds good, but he's not one of my favorites. We'll see.
All right.
I like it. I like that team, actually.
Let me give you team non-PPR, which I really think this is one of those teams it does not look that great when you're looking at it on the screen or on paper, but I really like this team. I took Marshawn Lynch in the first round, Alfred Morris in the second round, backed it up. So I got the steady guys at running back, and then I added Jordy Nelson, Vincent Jackson, Torrey Smith. Again, team non-PPR, but team long touchdown. So I got guys that can stretch the field, guys that are going to make impacts. I got the steady points that I'm going to get from my running back positions with Alfred Morris and Marshawn Lynch. And then I add to that a backup and wide receiver in Stevie Johnson, which is a great compliment. So you're not losing a step. It's, again, another guy that is going to be a longer catch guy, going to be the guy that's going to stretch the field and moving into the slot. As you said, going to be used more. Actually might be more PPR advantage.
He'll make up for the points in PPR that he wouldn't make up for in the long stuff. So
a steal then at tight end, grabbing Dennis Pitta, who's going to be another guy in PPR who's going to be taking that next ascension when you consider the fact of all the lack of receivers that they have in Baltimore. And finally, waiting until the very end and grabbing the last quarterback available on the board for our draft, taking Eli Manning as that 13th quarterback. I'm ecstatic. With all the other weapons I have, the quick strike and everything else, and Eli Manning still has Victor Cruz and Hakeem Nicks. Those are guys that can give you points. So I really like that team a lot.
Yeah, that's a great team to have in any sort of format. It's not the most explosive PPR.
It's almost like this was the team that was drafted saying, "I don't care that you're PPR. I'm going to draft the way I'm going to draft."
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's almost like the guy who forgot that it was a PPR draft.
At the end of the draft, like, dude,
it was what?
You're so bad at PPR. This is a PPR league?
I didn't know that.
Mr. Know Your League?
Yeah. Hey, know your draft position.
All right.
So I got my third team, which is a very interesting team, to say the least. I got my Tom Brady as a quarterback, which you're not normally going to be seeing around in the last round.
Taking in the eighth round of a 12-team draft.
Yeah, that's where he's. That's
where we all value him.
He's probably more of the sixth 5th round this year, maybe 7th, but he's going in mocks.
I hope people understand the drop-off that's going to happen with him, with all the rookie receivers, with Aaron Hernandez being gone, with Wes Welker being gone, and Danny Amendola being an injury risk. It's not going to be a pretty year for Tom Brady. Don't take him the same way you would normally take him. I don't know if he'll go as far deep as he did in this, in this mock draft.
No, in most drafts that you guys are going to be in, this guy's going to be going earlier. But just resign yourself to the fact that you're not going to draft him and let him go and move the other guys up. And all that means is that your tiers are going to look better and you're going to have a better team before when it's all said and done.
Let's be honest.
Let's wrap this up.
Who loves Tom Brady more than me?
Oh, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's my 10th ranked quarterback.
He's your Stetson heartbreak.
He's my 10th ranked quarterback. Times have changed.
I'm mixing all kinds of Clint Eastwood metaphors.
Running backs. I got a Reggie Bush. I got a Chris Ivory and DeMarco Murray. Okay, it's not the greatest core, but I do like a Reggie Bush there, especially in a PPR format.
I think they'll be effective.
They will be effective. Chris Ivory can be extremely effective. He's just a bruising running back in a Jets backfield that will run like crazy this year.
Let me just break it. I like Chris Ivory too, but let's be honest. Let's analyze this position. You drafted Jimmy Graham in the first round.
Yes.
Okay. So,
which I think was his best pick.
Well, right.
I like
best pick meaning that you're not liking the rest of the picks is what I'm saying. And this is part of what.
Well, the wide receivers aren't very
strong. This is not about anybody or whatever. What this is about is here's what happens when you take a tight end in the first round.
Yeah.
Okay. You take a tight end in the first round, Jimmy Graham, and someone else is grabbing an Antonio Gates, a Kyle Rudolph, and a Greg Olsen in the 7th and 8th rounds. How much difference is there between those two when you're drafting that as a first-round pick? So here's what happens.
It's a gigantic difference, actually.
Well, right.
And we put out a piece about 4 or 5 months ago that shows the gigantic difference between that first and second tight end and the drop-off to like the 10th or 11th tight end.
But it hurt. But this caused you are expecting. You said it when you drafted him, so you were honest with your.
Yeah, I was.
You're saying this guy needs to be a top wide receiver,
top 5 wide receiver.
He's got to be
absolutely.
He has to. So because your wide receivers, while I do love the Dobson, he's raw. And Cecil, we know he's got that great upside and got some major skills. But that team and the quarterback, that's where you suffer. And that's the same thing that I said up there at my number 1 team. That I was like, look, I got a James Jones and a Jeremy Maclin. And Denario Alexander. You want to know why? Because Witten was my 3rd pick.
Yeah.
And that's right there. I could be getting that 3rd guy where it's like, it's a lot sexier than James Jones.
Well, and this is
so you need him. If you take a tight end real high, you better anticipate or expect wide receiver S numbers.
Or we need to also look at the next team that you drafted, which is when we went the 2 wide receivers first.
Yeah.
So
I think it fell off. I like this team. It's probably my favorite team.
So let's bring up the team, and I want to talk about both these teams together.
Des Bryant, Julio Jones, Frank Gore, who I usually wouldn't be happy with as a running back, but I think they're in let's just use them and give them the ball mode. Gronkowski, a lot of ifs there, but if he's playing and he's healthy, he's a ridiculous 4th pick. Isaiah Peed, I think that's my bad pick there, but I do still think he's going to be pretty sweet if he lives up to his expectation. A lot of question marks there, but if he's getting the lion's share, he's going to be sweet. Greg Jennings, I've never liked him ever, but I think he's going to be a slow and steady guy on the Vikings. Probably going to have some dud games, but I think he's going to be pretty consistent. Wilson, spread the ball around, talent out the wazoo. He's a stud. He's just going to be better and better. Look at what he did the last 5 games last year versus the first 5. Then Christine Michael, who I think is just the stud, crowning jewel at running back of the rookie class, and he may Lynch might see his match here.
All right, well that may be, but I don't think it's going to come to fruition this year for annual leagues. But here's the point: both of these teams waited the first 2 rounds before drafting a running back in the 3rd round. So these 2 teams, running back number 1, Reggie Bush and Frank Gore. Running backs number 2, Chris Ivory, Isaiah Peed. This is all I'm saying. You have to understand.
Or DeMarco Murray.
What's that?
Or DeMarco Murray. Which could be, in a lot of circles.
But not in the way that they were drafted.
True.
Okay. But the point being, even if it's a DeMarco Murray, it's a Reggie Bush is your number one, okay? This is the point. Frank Gore is the number one. You have to now say, this is my point of why I'm saying 2 running backs, and why I did it with all these teams, because the worst running back I have
McCoy and Ray
is MJD. Or McCoy, or Team Hate.
I think Team Hate's your worst backfield of all the ones you did.
Well, that's fine. But here's the point. This is PPR anyway. But here's the point. It doesn't matter. Waiting those first 2 rounds, I'm just looking at it, and I know. It's one of those things where you say, well, running backs, but that's why that Marshawn Lynch, Alfred Morris team becomes so much stronger than those other teams, because you're hoping for points for your running backs, whereas I'm getting the points from the running backs. And the drop-off that I got in the wide receivers on those teams, they're all wide receiver 2s. They're not wide receiver 3s. Not wide receiver 1s. But you don't have a running back 1. You don't have... You have a couple running back 2s.
Explosion league.
This is a PPR league. And if Alfred Morris or Marshawn Lynch doesn't score... Hold on a second.
That team was your bad example.
No, PPR doesn't make that much of a difference.
You're done. 1 second.
Go ahead.
If Alfred Morris doesn't get a touchdown, he gets 0. If Marshawn Lynch doesn't get a touchdown, he gets 0. Because those guys don't get
100 yards a game.
That's a big difference.
They averaged 100 yards a game. It's
Reggie Bush, if he doesn't get a touchdown, will still get you 15 points.
No, he won't.
10
How do you
points.
expect? How do you expect? PPR is not a point per reception. It's usually a half a point per reception. Even if it's a point per reception.
Is this a point per reception or a half?
Even if it's a point, I don't care if it's a point. Let's call it a point. It doesn't make that much of a fucking difference.
You're talking 50 yards and 5 receptions. That's 10 points right there.
Let's not have the argument and fight at the 3rd hour while we're drunk, okay? Let's be rational about this. Here's the point. PPR, when you divide it over 16 games, you're talking 70 catches.
You look at the stats.
We look at the stats. I did the whole PPR thing.
Alfred Morris isn't even in the top 25.
I don't care. Listen to me.
But it's more than that.
It's more than that.
I know what I'm talking about.
I know you do. I agree with Doc completely here. It's a fact. It's not just PPR league. There's boost points for
There's also
games.
a point where, as we've discussed,
I think there's a lot of guys, you're just stuck on this running back.
There's a point
where that team is a dud.
There's a point where PPR does not make a damn bit of difference.
But you
have to divide over 16
It's a yardage
games.
league too.
Correct, which is what I'm talking about with the guys that he's talking about. Alfred Morris averaged over 100 yards a game.
How many yards do you think he'll get this season?
Over 100 yards a game.
You think he's going to get over 1,600 yards?
From scrimmage, correct. He'll not rushing. It's from scrimmage. It's total yards.
How many catches did he have for how many yards? He had under 100 yards receiving.
That's fine. That's fine.
But there's other bus guys that you don't agree with because they're wide receivers. So you got this wide receiver where like Julio Jones and O'Brien, those guys are going to explode in so many games that they offset your Marshawn Lynch and Alfred
They don't
Morris.
explode in every game, and they don't explode in every other game. Calvin Johnson's the only wide receiver that breaks the mold as wide receivers. The great wide receivers, if they're lucky, are doing the breakout game. And if they're lucky, 60%.
Darren Sproles had more points in a PPR league than both Marshawn Lynch and Alfred Morris last year. How are you going to explain that one?
Because I don't play in PPR leagues where it's a point per reception. There you go.
Okay. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. And you're right. And you're actually right. If it goes to half a point per reception, you're right.
So which team are we on next? We're on basically your team hate. Go to your team hate. I mentioned my last team, and we kind of compared them to the last two. But Houdini, your team, you had McCoy, Ray Rice, Randall Cobb, Wes Welker, Dwayne Bowe, T.Y. Hilton, Greg Olsen, and Andrew Luck. I think it's a pretty stout team.
It's an amazing team. It's two running backs that you guys hate that both get a ton of PPR. So now we're going to talk the 1 point per PPR. Well, then here you go. Your Reggie Bush and your Chris Ivory are completely outmatched by a LaShawn McCoy and a Ray Rice. And I look at my wide receivers and the fact that I get a Randall Cobb, a Wes Welker, a Dwayne Bowe, and a T.Y. Hilton, I've made up for it. I've covered my ass. And then the fact that I get a Greg Olsen, who at that tight end position also with the long touchdowns and the bigger yards.
It's good.
And then you get Andrew Luck, who's going back into the Pep Hamilton offense. It's going to be more ball, more control. He's going to get more completions. He's going to throw more touchdowns. He's going to throw.
He's going down.
No, most importantly, he's throwing less interceptions. He only threw for 56% completion percentage, which ranked him in the lower around 28 to 30 in the league.
Agreed.
That's going to go up to 63%. Then you look at what is going to happen with his touchdowns. Are going to go from 23 to probably 28, 29, and his interceptions are going to go from 18 down to 14 or 15, and he's going to make the Peyton Manning progression. Watch it.
All right.
No,
seems
I'm confident and believing in it.
I like it.
He's going way down.
I like it.
He's going way down. Interceptions don't cost you. That's not really the difference maker.
Right, because they're only -2.
It's just never really. So he's going to throw 6 less. So you're going to gain 12 points.
And he's going to throw 4 more touchdowns. So I'm going to gain a lot more points.
Okay, but the
long
interceptions never really matter.
Go ahead.
Okay, go on your last team, Dogmatica.
All right.
The Bear team.
We should never do a 3-hour podcast again.
You're the only one that seems to be getting self-righteous about your teams.
I'm the one that's getting picked on. That's all.
No, you're not.
My computer's dead, so to read on my
battery. It's Matt Forte, Brandon Marshall, Darren Sproles, Aaron Rodgers. You got Antonio Brown, got Gonzo, and then you got Ahmad Bradshaw and Ryan Broyles.
I threw this one in there as pretty much a total PPR team.
Yeah.
And this was, let's just go all out. Let's get all the catches we possibly can. I kind of like it from that perspective. Granted, some of the guys don't get the long touchdowns, but I think Antonio Brown is going to be the PPR guy in Pittsburgh. Brandon Marshall
he's having 90 catches this year?
I do. I really do. Because listen, Mike Wallace is gone. There's got to be another wide receiver 1. Ben Roethlisberger. I'm telling you,
wide receiver 1 in the last 2 years.
No, Wallace has been the wide receiver 1 there.
Although Wallace didn't have a great year last year. He didn't even break 1,000 yards.
It did. Well, how many catches did Brown have last year?
Brown didn't do great either.
Brown actually did pretty well. He had 70-something catches.
How many yards did he have?
Not many, but he had more touchdowns than he had in the past.
And
he had 5 touchdowns
last
this year.
There was a big drop off from his return game. They turned him into a wide receiver, so
that's
so
good.
Awesome that
I agree.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I'd rather not see him as a return.
Out of your 4 teams, which team do you like the best?
I think I like that second team that I picked.
Ron Jeremy's.
Yes.
Houdini, out of your 4 teams, which team do you like the best?
My Mighty Mites and then my Team Hate.
Team Hates. Donkey Balls doesn't even make it.
No, Donkey Balls. That's the one with Jamal
Donkey
Charles.
Balls is
Jamal Charles.
So that's
Donkey Balls number 1, and then Team Hate number 2.
All right. Yeah, I think the Donkey Balls is your best team, but I do like your little stacks more than Team Hate.
I like Mighty Mites too. I like them all.
For me, I don't even know. I don't really love my draft. I think the team that I think would probably win the championship of all of them, as stupid as this is, would probably be my bankrupt team. A lot of things would have to go right, but I think that is a team that, if it did happen, could just light teams up.
That's
Megatron. That's not
that's not
That's the one that's a lot of question marks.
Yeah.
But if everything strikes, which, let's be honest, when you win the championship, everything strikes.
Exactly.
That's what it works. I mean, the years I've won the championship, when you win it, they all align. So that would be the one that would be it. But I also like the Babysitters. I think is pretty stout too. We'll see. This is fun. We're gonna on this podcast. This is without a doubt knuckle bump here.
Ever.
It's nice. We've broken one of our own records. We did not see this coming.
Not at all.
We
thought it was going to be an hour.
We thought this was going to be an hour. We got started late because I had to come back from Michigan and there was traffic.
And now we're drunk.
And now we're sitting here and it's friggin' 2 a.m. on a Monday night. This is a 3-hour podcast. If you are listening to this, we love you. We didn't do enough pyro promos. We've been working our butt off on the site. I can't even believe we just did a 3-hour podcast. 12-man leagues, heavy yardage, heavy TD, PPR, 3 wide receiver, This is unbelievable. I love you guys.
3 wide receiver, 3 hours.
12-man league. That
Maniacs
extra round.
indeed.
Pyromaniacs. We love you guys. Sorry.
Hope you love us.
Yeah, we apologize. Hopefully you fell asleep to this podcast. Oh, man.
Peace.
Peace.